A few weeks ago I put out a video where I played Trekking Through History on solo mode. Now if you didn't watch that video, and especially if you've never played Trekking Through History before, stop. Stop this video now, see that link, click that first, go watch that video first, and then come back to here. The reason is in that video I explain how the game actually works, I explain the solo mode. I'm not going to do that this video. I'm going to jump into it much quicker, kind of with the assumption that you've seen the other one and you kind of know how gameplay works. So now for the spoilers. Since you all have seen the first playthrough, you know that I didn't do too well. I didn't get crushed, but I could have done several things better in the game, and I ended up losing by quite a few points. So think of this video today as my attempt at revenge. I'm trying to get back at Trekking Through History and beat it on the medium difficulty. I'm already starting off with making a lot of smart decisions. It's the middle of the night right now, so I'm sure my brain is at peak functioning ability. Also drinking tea so I don't lose my voice in the middle of the playthrough. So I'm really prepped well for this one. But with that being said, I'm going to throw in the time warp card, so I'll show you how that works right from the beginning. Let's jump in. Now the redemption story has officially begun, or at least I hope so. Now before we jump in, I am going to explain one new rule, and that's because in the first game, I did not play with these time warp cards. So time warps are a way to add variability from play to play. There's a stack of them in the game. What you do is you deal out 3, 1 for each day, and they will either give you a spot to go to have a once per day bonus, or they will give you a recurring bonus throughout the round. Basically, it'll change one of the rules of the game for that day only. For day 1, the time warp card says gain the benefits from your most recent card. You can do this once per the day, and it costs 1 hour to go there. All right, and as always in this game, the human player takes the very first turn. I'm actually going to take this card right here, even though there's not a bonus for this card. I really like this one, because I have this trek right here, this itinerary right here that needs a lot of red and green if I want to finish it. So this gives me a red and a green, and it cost me 3 hours. And then most importantly, it's very old, so hopefully it helps me keep things in order for quite a while. Now, as always, the solo opponents are going to take the oldest card available, which is this one right here. They're going to go 2 hours forward and then get a red and a yellow. Everything is going to slide down. Oh, interesting. So this one here just happened to show up. This is the next one available. It's going to cost 3 hours, 1, 2, 3, and then also it's going to give them a red and a wild. So just like that, they have 3 points, and then this wild goes in the topmost row if there's one available, and I'm going to lose my first crystal. So, there we go. Great start to the game. All right, I'm going to watch some fireworks over here. This is going to give me a yellow, another yellow, blue, and a time crystal. And I do have to move forward 5 hours to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything will slide over here. The next available card that they will definitely take is this one right here, I believe. Yeah, that one right there. They're going to get a time crystal for that, and the blue will move forward 3 hours. The blue is going to give them 3 victory points. 1, 2, 3, and there's their time crystal here. Everything will slide over. Okay, so they're up again. They're going to hang out with Marco Polo on the Silk Road. So this is going to cost them 4 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, except I'm playing against a medium difficulty. They will throw away a time crystal when the hours get 4 more and reduce the time down to 3. So that's actually a big difference. That gives them an entire extra pick this turn. So we're gonna get the yellow there, 2 reds, and a wild. That's actually a pretty big swing right there to get that bonus one. So we got the 2 reds. We have the yellow. Then the wild is going to go right there, top available spot, and that is a time crystal. Slide everything down. Okay, so I'm going to do the time warp now. So I'm going to take this extra little marker here with my color, put it right here. I spend the cost in hours. I'm going to forward 1. I can get the benefits of my most recent card, but it only cost me 1 hour. So I'm going to get another time crystal, a yellow, and a blue. And this one's going to give me 2 points for covering up that yellow. This blue here gives me 5 points for that row, so it's going to be 7 points. Okay, so I'm going to spend 1 time crystal here because I'm going to go again, actually. I'm going to get one of these ancestor cards right here. This is going to give me a wild, and I'm going to place this wild on this blue, which will give me my time crystal back. This also makes me move forward 2. I'm still the next player, so for my next turn, I'm going to take this card right here. This one here, I'm obviously going to go to the end of the track because it costs 4, but remember you can move beyond the end of the track if you need to at the end. It's going to give me a red, which is wasted, a green, which is wasted, but also a wild and a blue. So I can put the blue here and get another time crystal, and the wild here and get 5 points. Now everything is going to slide down here, and the opponent has one more turn here. So their next card looks like this right here. Nope, I'm wrong. Michelangelo it is. So right here, that's 2 hours. They're going to jump forward 2 hours. There are 2 reds for doing that. So they're going to cover getting 5 points up there, and then that one right there. Now that's the end of the first day, so all these cards just get discarded. All right, so hopefully flip out some good cards and not ones. The solo opponent actually goes before me this time, so I have to, yep, they are going to take, William Shakespeare. It's the only card right now out there that's ahead of us in the time orders. That makes a huge difference. They're going to go first right there because they're going to be able to jump in there and get this card to keep their trek going, and I might not be able to do that. So I got to choose a new itinerary, and this day's done, that card's gone. We get a new benefit for this round. This one for 3 hours. Take a history card, but do not gain its benefits. Collect the benefits from a different card in departure row. So you get the benefits of a card out here, even though you take a different card. So this was kind of a unique one. I guess you can keep your trek going by taking a card that works in order of the dates, but also you get the benefits from something out there. Okay, I'm gonna go for this itinerary right here because it has a lot of yellow and blues and big bonuses for yellow and blue. I'm pretty sure that's how I'm gonna start out the round here, by grabbing some yellow and blue and a couple greens. So that makes a lot of sense for me, I think. And then, like I said, they're gonna take the first card here. They're clearly going to hang out with William Shakespeare. So they're gonna move 5, but again, unfortunately, the harder opponent, if they can spend time crystals, will. They're going to spend these time crystals and reduce it only to 3. So that's a really good, powerful thing. Makes a big difference from the easiest opponent who will never do that. They would have just gone 5. So lots of their day is already gone. So if they get that, they're going to get 2 time crystals, a wild and a red. The red is going to go on here and grab an additional wild. Then both these wilds are going to fill the top spot up there. Everything will slide down. Quick sip of tea before we jump into any difficult decisions. This is not a paid sponsorship. I wish it was. But this peppermint licorice by Puka, if it was a paid sponsorship, I know how to say their name. Puka, this is good. I don't even like tea, but I'm kind of losing my voice, like I said, so I had to have something. All right, so even though it's a decision I don't want to make, the decision is not difficult. I set out, I really don't want to restart the trek, but I have to. I have no choice but to restart because there are tons of cards in this second day. They're actually after this date-wise, tons of them are later than the 1500s, but none of them came out. So it's kind of a pretty unfortunate draw. So I have to go back in time, but I did notice that ahead of time. So I picked out this trek, which focused on those colors. I knew I'd begin this one right here. So I'm going to be rolling the first wheel. I need a blue, a yellow, and a green. And I really like the idea of taking the next turn too. So I'm going to spend a time crystal to do that. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So I get the next turn as well. And I'm going to get my green, my yellow, and my blue. Everything slides down here. Okay, I think I'm just going to keep it in order and go with the very next card here. This is going to cost 4. I will do the full 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, because I'm thinking they're going to take this and go at least 3. So I would do the full 4 here. And I get a blue, a yellow, and a wild. That's a really good card for me. I get 2 points for that. I get a time crystal for that. I also have this wild, which I'm going to stick on this blue because I have some potential. I need 2 more blues, a yellow, and 2 reds. And that's a big payout in this one. So really hoping I can kind of get to those big goals in this one. So that is my turn. Nothing had to slide over. So they got 1 more card in their first trek at least. So like I said, there are a lot of later ones here. Nothing come out yet. So we are going to check out some DNA here with them. So they're going to spend a time crystal, reduce this cost on the 3. 1, 2, 3. They're going to get a green, a yellow, and a red. There's the red. There's the green, which gives them a wild, and a yellow, which gives them 5 points. That's actually a big difference here because this wild is going to cover this spot right here. That's actually a huge difference. They're going to get a ancestor card, which gives them another wild, which is going to cover another thing, which is going to give another crystal, but also they would have had to restart their trek on their next turn, and they just grabbed that extra card, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're up to 18 points. So I really don't want them to get another card. Thankfully, they go next. That was very helpful for them, but now their first trek is coming to an end because they are still behind me here. So we're going to take this, put this over here, and they're going to take the oldest card available, which is that one. So they're going to move up 3. 1, 2, 3. Everything's going to slide over, and they're going to get a green, a yellow, and a red. The red is almost to the end of the track here, which is kind of crazy. The yellow is here, and they're actually pretty close to nabbing that last ancestor card, which is kind of interesting. I have to be careful of that because I want to make sure I get that card before they do. There's one left out there. Okay, this combo here is just perfect for me. I'm gonna hit this card right here, spend a time crystal to do that, so I'll only take one step forward. This is the perfect combo. I get a time crystal back and a blue. My blue is going to go right here. There's my time crystal. Everything will slide over. But like I said, it's perfect combo. I'm going to take this card next. Spend a time crystal, only go up one, get a time crystal back, only get a yellow. Might seem like wasted space. Remember, I really want blues and yellows. Those are the exact colors that I want. And I go next again, and it looks like I'm going to be jumping forward in history any way I do it. Interesting. So I could go for this one, spend some time crystals, because I really want to get two more reds and a blue. So that would give me a red and one other thing. All I would need is one more red or one more blue. I think that's the way to do it. So if I go for this card here, that could work depending on what flips out, but my solo opponent would take this way for me, which is the wild and the red. That's a little too risky. So I think I'm going to go that route there. I have to spend two time crystals. I don't have to spend two time crystals, but I'm going to spend one time crystal and reduce this down to a two moves still. So it's still two moves, spend the time crystal there. And I'm going to get this card right here. I'm going to read one of the world's first novels. And I get a red for that and a wild. Obviously the red goes right here. And this is the difficult decision. Where do I put this wild? So I could count this out and say everything's going to move down. So this card will be here. Then the opponent will take this card here to put this one here. So I know I'm not really interested in that yellow one there. So I guess I might as well put this on the blue in hopes that whatever card ends up on the red is something that actually helps me in some other way. I don't know if it will, but I can't be helped in the blue area. So I'll do it that way. Everything is going to slide down. And I've realized that I never used that ability right there. That might have been the time to do it, but that's okay. I will pass enough right now and not retroactively try to do stuff. They're going to take, ooh, interesting. I told you they were going to take this card right here, but a new card flipped over that is earlier in time than this one here. This is just the year 40. So they're going to take that right there. That is going to spend a time crystal, which will reduce it down to 3, which means they do end punctually. So 3 bonus points for them. They get 2 reds and a green. So the green is worth 5 points, and the 2 reds are worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so this is as good as time as any because they get one more blue. They're taking the last ancestor card. And if I could take this card here, I could avoid jumping forward in time. This card here would be 4 more points for me for that, but I would be jumping forward in time and then giving them this card, which also gives them a wild. So that's been pretty risky. So I don't really want to give them that huge combo because the wilds are going to start filling in some pretty cool stuff. I'm going to go ahead and take this card right here. So when they activate this, it does nothing. I feel pretty good about that. That's going to move 2. I do not end punctually. I get a wild though, and that wild is going to go on my reds, and that red will finish at 8. Oops, I actually forgot to do this 10 right here, I guess. So I have 8 plus 10 more. So there's my 10, then my 8 takes me to 32. And that is the end of that. So we're going to gather up all these cards here and be done with the second phase, or second day, I should say. All right, and see what we have. So it ended up not mattering because all the dates I'm jumping forward to are going to be after 1400 anyway, but still, it was a nice idea just in case a card came out that I wanted to use. Okay, we're going to get rid of this card here. The last time warp card here says when you land on another player's pocket watch, each player with a pocket watch beneath you gains 2 points. So that means basically I don't want to land on his pocket watch. He doesn't want to land on my pocket watch. Well, he can't help it. So I will try to manipulate it and get him to land on me, if possible, and get those 2 bonus points. All right, and finally, here is my last itinerary card of the game for day 3. Now, I can't help everything, but ideally, if you kind of look at his board here, I'm going to give him reds, because he already maxed out reds. Reds don't help him. I'm going to keep blues away from him, because blues are essential for him to get this 10 points and these 10 points here, and also 5 points right here. Yellows are pretty good. Even greens don't hurt me too much. Really, I'm just going to try to keep away with the blues if I can. So I should try to keep that in mind as I go along. But for right now, let's just jump in here. I'm going to take this card right here. I'm going to go 3 spaces to pay for the cost of that card. It's going to give me a red, a blue, and a yellow. This itinerary is really interesting. All this stuff appears and everything else jumps way, way, way down here. Now, if you're good at this game, you might be thinking strategically, I should have picked a card without a lot of reds since I really want him to take all the reds. My other card was in basically the same situation, tons of reds. So if I did have a card that didn't need a lot of reds, it'd be a time to use it, but I just didn't have that card available this time. So everything slides down and hopefully, cool, that's what I want to have happen. So he's going to take this card right here. It's the next one in order. And what I want it to happen is he's going to move 3. Well, remember, if he lands on top of mine, I get to move 2 extra space or 2 extra points for me, which is great. He's going to take this one, which is 2 yellows and a red. The red is wasted. And like I said, I don't really mind the yellows too much. He's going to max out something down here, probably. Be better for him to max out 2 tracks than to get that. Now, if you play the harder modes, there are X's down here. If they max out any track, you lose the game right away. So it's kind of different in this mode here, though. I don't mind if he maxes out tracks and then loses some points from that. Now, unfortunately, he does go next. He's going to take this card right here. So my beautiful strategy just now had, I saw this card here thinking, oh, cool, he's not going to get any blues. I wasn't necessarily thinking about this card right here. So this card right here, first of all, he moves 4. He'll spend a time crystal to reduce that down to 3, but he's going to get a blue, right? He's going to get another blue, and he's going to get a wild. When we check out his board, you have a blue here, that's a time crystal, a blue here, and the top spot for a wild is that right here. So lots of my hard work just now went down the drain. He ended up getting a bunch of blues. Now the blues are right there. So I got to be careful of this. I don't know if I can avoid that one, but it'd be great to at least not have both of these hit me. All right, things slide down. Okay, I'm torn between these 2 cards right here. I'm going to go with this card simply because, not because it's earlier in history, but because it will make him take this card, which will give him yellow, yellow, and a red. So again, the ones I don't care as much about. So it's kind of my motivating factor. I feel like this card could be, for my purposes, slightly better. But if you watch my first playthrough, you know I basically lost by letting him do whatever he wanted. He got all the big bonuses. So I'm going to try to remedy that mistake and not do that again. So I'm going to spend 1 time crystal going 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to spend a 2nd time crystal and land on top of things. That will give him 2 free points. I get a yellow for going there, a blue, a time crystal back, and a wild. So the blue gives me an additional time crystal. The yellow gives me 2 points. And I'm so close to the end, I think, oh man, I'm so torn about this purple. This is the most difficult decision I think I've made this whole time playing this game, because I could go for this red. I go for this red, I'm pretty sure I'll get this one here too, which will give me 2 more reds. So I can pretty much guarantee getting this 8 points right here if I wanted to. I could also be brave and go for this green, because there's a chance I just need 2 more greens, a yellow, and that's 12 points here, which is the same as 8 and 4, I understand. But there's still the off chance because red's so common, I'll still get red. So this is a really, really tough decision. I feel like let's go for this one with the red in hopes that I will have access to this card, which I think I'll have access to this card, which give me a red and a green, and then a time crystal. Then hopefully I will at least get this, and maybe by some miracle also get that one. So I think that's my final answer. I will go for that one there. Take this, and then plot twist. Okay, so this is why you just can't count up perfectly, which is a good thing. You don't want to really have a game you can count up perfectly. It's been so long, I don't know if I got my time crystal or not from that card, but I want to hope that I did and just not do it right now. So this is the plot twist though. They are going to get this card here. This card flipped out. That's actually sooner for them in the trek than I thought they were going to take this one here and slide these cards down. So a little bit of a plot twist here. This is still a great card for them to take because it's yellow and it's red. Also, it's a movement of 3. And 3 is good for me because anything more than 3, they can spend crystals and reduce it. So hopefully, I hope they only have 1 more pick in this game. That would be great. Okay, so I'm going to spend all 3 time crystals here and get this card right here. And so this is going to move me forward only 1 because I spent all 3 time crystals. And that card is going to give me a red. It's going to give me a time crystal back and change, and also a wild. The red has to go here, and I'm going to put this wild onto this green spot because I also get the next turn unless something crazy, nope, nothing crazy came up. So I'm going to take the logical next turn, which is this one right here. I'm going to spend a time crystal, reduce that down to 2. I'm going to boycott buses with Rosa Parks. I'm going to take 2 moves right here that I don't want to land on them again, so I don't want to do that. But I'm right here, that's a pretty good move. This is going to give me a time crystal back, a red, and a green. And this is really important. That is 8 points right there, and that is 2 more points right there. So that's 10 points. And if by some miracle I can get a yellow and a green at the end, we'll kind of see what he takes. That would be 10 more bonus points. So it looks like my gambit kind of worked out. Well, it wasn't really gambit. It was just kind of, I felt really 50-50 about that. So hopefully that all kind of ends up working out in the end. We will see here in just a sec. But first, it is my opponent's turn. And the next thing in history is, next thing by date is this card right here. They're going to hang out with Sigmund Freud. They're going to move forward 3. That ends them punctually. So it actually ends their game. Again, they don't spend time crystals unless it's 4 or up. That's going to give them a green, a red, and a yellow. The yellow is thankfully harmless. The red also gets thrown away. And this is a huge, huge, huge thing. Not getting this bonus 10 points. I never got that last blue. That is such a big difference. The last playthrough I did this game, they marched all the way down to here. So I lost a crystal, 10, 20 points. Easily the difference in the game right there. Keeping that an extra blue away from them was definitely ended up being worth it. So all this stuff is going to slide down. All right, the end of this game is going to end up completely opposite of the other playthrough I did this game. This is everything has fallen for me in the very end here. So I'm going to get this card right here, the 1959 card. And I'm going to end up with 2 reds and a yellow from that, which is crazy. Like I said, everything has worked out at the end of this game. That's going to be 4 bonus points there. This comes over here, and I'm able to keep my cards in order by moonwalking with the Apollo 11 crew, which costs 2. I don't have any crystals to spend. I'm going to land on top of this guy and give him 2 bonus points, I guess, which I had to do when he ended first. But this is going to give me 2 greens. I can only fit 1 more green, but that is a huge, 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 huge pick right there because that is 10 points up to 58, and it keeps my Trek in order. So if you watched the last playthrough, you know at the end of the game, nothing quite just meshed at the end, and this one ended up really, really nicely for me. So I'm going to clear these cards up here and add up endgame score. All right, so he gets 1 point for having a crystal right there. And he completed 2 treks. So we have a trek of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is worth 18 points. So we have 10, 20, then back up 2. Then also a trek of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 10 points. He's up to 64. And this is going to end up not really being too close here. My first trek was 4 cards worth exactly 4 points. We moved to 62 here. But my final trek is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 30 points for 10 cards and 3 for each additional. So that's going to be 36 points. I'm at 62, 72, 82, 92, then 6 more. I'm up to 98 points. All right, redemption accomplished. I have now beat the game on the medium difficulty. Like I said, a little bit of a lucky play out at the end there, but I think I also improved a little from my first playthrough of the game. Before you go, I have a quick question for you. If you'd be interested in watching this on the harder difficulty settings, go down below into the comments and let me know. I've done 2 playthroughs of this already now, both of them on the medium difficulty level. I think there's a hard in the next level, I think it's called extreme, but 4 total levels difficulty. If that is something that interests you, please let me know so I can maybe in the future pull together another playthrough and post that. Thanks for hanging out and watching the playthrough. Hopefully you had a good time. As always, want to like the video, subscribe to the channel, see a lot more playthroughs like this, solo and group playthroughs, as well as reviews, some top 10s, and just to remind you, I have a Patreon page. You'll find a link for that in the description down below. See you next time.